Hi there. Welcome back to today's episode of Studio 501c3. I'm your host, Kim Jones, Executive Director of the Nonprofit Village. Our show features nonprofit organizations that get the 501c3 designation by the IRS because they provide a public benefit and your donations are tax deductible in most instances. We're proud to partner with Montgomery Community Media on Studio 501c3 to highlight the fantastic nonprofit programs and services in Montgomery County. MCM is your public resource that provides access to information relevant to our community. My co-host today is Matt Freeman, a public relations consultant for nonprofits. Matt also serves on the board of the Nonprofit Village.
Thank you, Kim. It's great to be with you and to learn more about our guests and their organizations. Serving on the board of the Nonprofit Village has been a great pleasure for me because of all the work it does to help nonprofits, providing nonprofit management programs, back office services, and affordable shared space.
Today, we're welcoming Ken White, not Kim, a board member of the Maryland Black Chamber of Commerce, a nonprofit that educates, connects, and advocates for Black businesses across Maryland. Ken, thanks so much for being with us at Studio 501c3.
Thank you so much for having us.
Great. So we will talk a little bit about how you help the Black businesses that are members grow and thrive. You do a little advocacy, you do a little education, you do some other programs. Tell us about those tools that you use in order to help get them growing.
Okay, so let's start with education. So as many people know, our Black business owners are smaller in size. Many of them spend most of their day preparing their service, whatever their product or service is. And they don't have the ability to get out and do research on contracting opportunities or procurement opportunities or collaborative partnerships. So we provide an environment for them to come together and work with each other, and we bring resources to them, i.e. those procurement opportunities, those contracting opportunities, those opportunities to collaborate to go after larger contracts or procurement opportunities for them.
Okay, great.
You mentioned research. Are there other sort of areas where minority-owned or operated businesses face particular challenges?
Again, contracting, procurement, finance. Sometimes being a one-person operation, your experience or resources in the areas of human resource management, marketing, accounting, finance. You may not have those tools in your particular toolbox.
Right.
And when you're in a room of 200 other small business owners, there are resources there that you can take advantage of and utilize.
And do you remember it's organizations that join as opposed to individuals or both?
Both.
Both, okay. And is there any trend in the sorts of businesses that join?
I knew you were going to ask that.
Did you? Okay.
So no, there are not. Our members are IT, insurance, finance, restaurants, event planning, communications companies. What else do we have? Government contractors,
Right.
You name it. It runs the gamut.
Sounds like it runs the gamut, yeah.
So a lot of this is about access, giving them
exactly.
additional access because they may not have, similar to a first-generation college-going student.
Exactly.
There's not the know-how there
Exactly.
that's automatically built in. It's just not baked in.
So I'm glad you say that because I describe them, most of our members are first-generation small business owners.
Okay.
So some of those skill sets or resources or connections aren't natural, aren't there. And so when we bring everyone together, our resources grow. And so we have more access to information.
What about younger entrepreneurs? Because there are so many entrepreneurship programs in high schools, in colleges, in after-school programming, in communities to encourage that. Are you finding that there are younger entrepreneurs that are coming through and they may have a little more knowledge, junior achievement, for example, that teaches?
We are. Not quite. I'm not seeing an audience of just out of college, but we certainly are getting those 20-somethings, those 25-year-olds to 35-year-olds who are new, and the way they conduct business is different than the way.
In what way?
Social media,
right.
marketing, their networks are different, and some of them, as you mentioned, because they've gone through, high school programs or college programs, and now colleges are offering entrepreneurial degrees and stuff. So their knowledge base is a lot different by the time they get to, small business ownership.
Okay. And is that a positive thing?
That's a good thing. Yes.
That's a good thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's give them a
But that
chance
kind of
to.
mitigates that first generation
Right,
thing
right.
because they've gone through this process of having access to information and resources, and knowing how to write a business
That
plan, knowing
makes
how to
sense.
conduct marketing, knowing all the aspects of human resources and finance, and
Wow.
so they're bringing a lot of that to the table. Where some of our other members, our more traditional member, have never had that type of training. Most businesses, I know how to provide this service. I did not get human resources. I did not take finance. I did not take marketing. So therefore, I'm lacking these capabilities.
I would think it would also be that the younger members would be able to help educate the older ones on some of the social media tools that they have available
Absolutely,
to them.
absolutely.
So you are finding that intergenerational
Yes.
assistance
Yes,
is,
yeah,
and
absolutely.
partnering in some
Absolutely.
ways.
So,
Okay.
so as a chamber, even when we need these resources, we find ourselves going to the younger.
Right.
When we're trying to improve our social presence, our social media presence.
Right.
So yes, we're all utilizing.
Whatever
yeah.
generation we have to.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Good.
Do you do a lot of work with other chambers of commerce around the state?
We do. And so our philosophy is there's never enough help, there's never too much help for our small business owners. So if there's a resource that's available, we certainly want to connect them to that resource. And likewise, we want the other chamber members to utilize our resources. Currently, I've been on the phone working with the Clarksburg Chamber. They're doing a multi-chamber event coming up. At the time I signed on about 3 weeks ago, there were 12 chambers involved, and that included the Asian Chamber of Commerce and the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. The Germantown, Gaithersburg chambers reached out to us. There's the Greater Washington Black Chamber. There's the Baltimore Black Chamber. So we're all connected. We're part of the U.S. Black Chamber membership affiliate. So
So
if
your
there's
reach is
if there's a
pretty-
resource,
Yeah.
if someone's doing, we don't want to duplicate what's already out there. If there's something going on, let's work together and help our small business community.
Right. So it's a broad reach.
Yeah. And it keeps you busy, it sounds like.
And
Yeah.
it keeps us very busy.
And we have some evidence of that as we go to break. We're going to show you some pictures of some of the Chamber's networking and educational events. Meantime, stay with us to learn more about how the Maryland Black Chamber of Commerce helps businesses start, grow, and thrive.
You're watching Studio 501c3 on Montgomery Community Media. Welcome back to Studio 501c3, your window into Montgomery County's premier nonprofit organizations. I'm Kim Jones, Executive Director of Nonprofit Village, along with Matt Freeman, an expert nonprofit public relations consultant.
We're here talking to Ken White of the Maryland Black Chamber of Commerce. Welcome back. I'm curious, how do organizations come to join the Black Chamber of Commerce?
Easy. They can go on our website, www.marylandbcc.org. Come to any of our events. Very easy to do.
And how do they find the events? I assume also there's a list someplace on the website?
Yes, so if they're on our website, our members are in our database, they can also be a non-member and become part of our database. And we send out newsletters and updates on a weekly basis of what's going on in the community, what's upcoming. Again, with other organizations, with resources or programs that are being offered on a weekly basis.
So some of those partnerships
yes.
that you're sharing that information,
Right.
your networking, your educational events
Right.
and everything. Okay. I have a question about some of the advocacy work that you do, because you do advocate on behalf of the businesses
Absolutely.
that are members. Tell us a little bit about how you do that, and maybe something in particular that you have had to advocate on that's really helped businesses to grow.
So the process can look a couple of ways. One way it could be a legislator preparing legislation and reaching out to us, to our membership, and either us serving as an audience for them to present a draft of what's going on, or it may be to reach out to us and we provide data that helps them form or shape the legislation that they're putting forward. And or on the flip side, it could also be us taking current legislation and putting it in the forefront to our membership, so they know what legislations are out there, how they affect their business. So it could be done a couple of ways. Most recently, some of our members testified on behalf of the sports betting
Yeah.
and for the inclusion of minority opportunities. So that was an area where we were contacted by some legislators. They wanted some information on our membership, and then offered for our membership to come and testify.
So now those are new
yeah.
opportunities. Okay. So a good example of a success story, because that may become an opportunity for a new business or an existing business
absolutely.
to actually contract and become one of the providers.
Absolutely.
Okay, great.
Are there other issues of that sort? Some maybe that are coming down the road, or other sorts of issues that you've been active on?
Human resources, that's a hot topic right now, and how that affects the small business. And
Tell me about that. How does what?
well, making sure that our folks are compliant and know how new legislation affects them,
Right.
so that they aren't in violation.
Right.
So that's something that's in conversation right now. Other opportunities, as far as like advocating and kind of tying in advocating and contracting opportunities. MDOT, Opportunity MDOT has programs for P3. Contracting,
is?
it's the whole contracting opportunities for I-270 and I-495, and making sure that minority business owners have access to these contracting opportunities, and that they're in the forefront. And so there's requirements by MDOT to the prime contractors to make sure that they are providing a certain amount of contracts to minority-owned businesses within the county and the state. So making sure that we're getting that information out there to the community. And that's often, we have MDOT and we have WSSC, and there's a lot of programs and things out there that we're advocating that the opportunities be made aware and be provided to our small business population.
So some of these things that you're talking about are evidence of why your membership is growing.
Exactly.
and businesses are starting to grow themselves
Exactly.
and thrive. So yeah, thank you for all of that information. So that's all the time we have for today. I want to thank Matt Freeman for being my guest host today, and we both thank our guest Ken White, who is the board member of the Maryland Black Chamber of Commerce. For more information on the Maryland Black Chamber of Commerce, visit their website at marylandbcc.org.
And we hope you will tune in for another episode of Studio 501c3, your window on nonprofits in Montgomery County. I'm Matt Freeman.
And I'm Kim Jones, Executive Director of the Nonprofit Village. We'll see you on the next episode of Studio 501c3 on Montgomery Community Media.